a taco, and I'm here to show you how to make a delicious marinara sauce with just 7 simple ingredients. First, we're going to start by chopping up some garlic. What I like to do is I like to crush the garlic before I chop it. If you want to put it in a food processor, you can do that as well. I've been doing this too long, so it's easy for me to just chop it. The way I make my marinara sauce is I like to mix tomatoes and use some puree and some crushed tomato sauce. I like to use this particular brand of tomato sauce because it's got less acidity, and I just like it since my mother's been using it since we came here from Italy in 1983. So, now that the garlic is chopped, what I like to do is put about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. I add the garlic. Now what I also like to do is I like to add the oregano. So while the oil heats up, it infuses the oil and the garlic about a teaspoon. Now what I do is I put it on the flame. While that's going, I'm going to start chopping up my basil. I use about 2 28-ounce cans for a good 5 cloves of garlic, about 6 leaves of basil. What I like to do is I like to chop them, not too fine. And the reason why I don't incorporate it with the oil now is because by the time the oil heats up, it'll burn the basil. So what you want to do is you want to get the garlic going with the oregano. Once the garlic is a light golden brown color, then we're going to add the basil and we're going to put the tomatoes in. So while that's going, I'm just going to stir it up, get the oil and the garlic with the oregano evenly. When you get that into a light golden brown color, let that go for about a minute or two on a high flame. Alright, so now that the garlic is nice and golden brown, what I like to do is I like to turn off the flame. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the basil. Always fresh basil, never dry basil. Now what that infuses in the oil a little bit, like I said, you don't want to overcook the basil, you just want to infuse the oil and the garlic in with the basil. Again, I turned off the flame so I don't overcook the basil. Okay. Now that the oil is infused with the basil and the oregano and the garlic, I like to take the tomato sauce. I'm going to slowly add so you don't make a mess. Both cans. Alright, so now we poured it in. Remember, I like to mix my tomatoes, crushed tomatoes and puree. You know, just to give it a little different texture, because I don't want a smooth tomato. I like to taste the tomato when I have my pasta. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add about a half a can of water in each can. You kind of want to wash out the tomato so you don't waste the product. And now we're going to add the water in. Now, what people seem to forget mainly when you make tomato sauce is that these already come pre-cooked. You don't have to cook them for a long period of time. Once you infuse the oils and all the flavor is in the oil, what you want to do is you just want to get it to a boil, and then you want it to simmer, as I'm going to show you. Okay, so now that we put the water and the tomatoes in the pot, I'm going to turn the flame back on high. I'm going to give it a nice stir. And now we're going to add our salt, sugar, and our pepper. Alright, now that we got that going, we want to grab our black pepper, our salt and sugar. It's about a tablespoon and a half of sugar and a tablespoon and a half of kosher salt. Now that we have the salt in there, a little bit of black pepper. I like to use half a teaspoon, quarter teaspoon. I tend to go like a quarter and a half, like a little less than half a teaspoon, a little bit more than a quarter. I don't want my tomato sauce to be overpowered by black pepper. I like the fresh basil and the oregano to come out in my garlic. So we're going to give that a nice stir. What we want to do is we want to wait till it comes to a nice boil, not a roaring boil where everything's going to overflow and the stove's going to get messy. You don't want to do any more cleaning than you have to. Alright, now that we got the tomato sauce on, let it go for about 10 minutes. Now it's coming up to a boil. After the sauce comes up to a boil, you want to give it a nice stir. You want to make sure that it's not going to burn. So now what you want to do is you want to lower the flame. Get it to simmering, so let it cook slow for about 20 minutes. Alright, and that's how you make marinara sauce. Just let it simmer for about 20 minutes. If you want to stir it occasionally, I would if you have a non-stick pan. Alright, so join us next time when we show you how to make mac and cheese gourmet the Ben's way. Thank you very much.